Guys, it's your boy Dearest Movies and Stuff back again with another video, and today we're gonna be discussing if I made a horror movie fighting game. Now this idea hasn't been concreted, but Ed Boon, the leader of NetherRealms, which created the Injustice and Mortal Kombat series. Not created Mortal Kombat, but is in charge of it currently, has hinted at a horror movie fighting game, and it would be cool to get a horror movie fighting game before the next Mortal Kombat. So yeah, let's get into our first category of discussion. If I made a horror movie fighting game, which is the roster. Now the roster is gonna have to be pretty big, and yeah, let's get into it. So here's my roster. So starting from the bottom right to the top, it's Predator, Alien, The Thing, Pennywise, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Ghostface, Jack Torrance, Pinhead, Hannibal Lecter, Jigsaw, The Blob, Leatherface, Candyman, Carrie, Chucky, the Leprechaun, Cujo, the Creeper, the Gill Man from Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, the Mummy, Frankenstein's monster, Invisible Man, The Strangers, and The Exorcist. So let's discuss some of the parts of this that we're gonna need to know. So first of all, a lot of these people are coming from the same companies or studios, so that's going to be way easier just to ask one person for a whole group of them. Like, for instance, all the Universal monsters, you're going to have to get them from Universal Studios, and then that's going to be five. That's going to already be 5 of your characters. But another thing is that the Strangers, they're going to be like the Ninja Turtles. They're basically going to be all one character that's named the Strangers, but then you're going to be able to switch them out in something that we'll discuss later. But now let's get into the next category, which is DLCs. Now let's get right into it. So for Fighter Packs 1, 2, and 3, there's going to be 3 of them. There's going to be 3 characters in each Fighter Pack, and the order I'm going for is per fighter pack there's gonna be 1 character from the Mortal Kombat series. Just to have some room to not copyright. But then the rest of them I was going for like a creature feature genre of horror, which means like horror movies with animals. So the first fighter pack is going to be Baraka, Jaws, and the Lake Placid Croc, which is going to be... So Baraka is going to obviously come out first, and then Jaws, and then Lake Placid. And then Melina is going to be the first for fighter pack 2. And then it's going to be a Godzilla and King Kong, because everybody wants to see them fight in a fighting game. Yeah, and it's going to be in that order, in that specific order. And then it's going to be Ermac, and then the Anaconda from Anaconda, and then here's the little twist thing. Nobody was expecting this because there's already been about 5 creature features. But then there's going to be Norman Bates from the very famous Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock did a very good one on that. But then everybody would be surprised and actually probably be happy, because this would be the only slasher to come from the Fighter Pack series. Yeah, so basically let's reread over this in pictures. So Fighter Pack 1 would be Baraka in the middle, Jaws on the left, and Lake Placid Croc on the right. Fighter Pack 2 would be Melina in the middle, King Kong on the left, and Godzilla on the right. Fighter Pack 3 would be Ermac in the middle, Norman Bates on the left and Anaconda on the right. And yeah, that's basically the DLC characters. You might be asking why I did the Mortal Kombat characters for each of them. It's just so that they can have a break from asking for rights from people, and just like get like just like in Injustice 2, where they had Raiden and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, which is also owned by NetherRealms. It's just a break from copyright, basically. So yeah, let's get into the next one, which is arenas. Now, yeah, let's get right into it. So in total, there's going to be 12 arenas, there's going to be 12 arenas, not including the question mark. So, let's go from top to bottom. There's Pennywise's Sewers, there's Camp Crystal Lake, there's Elm Street, there's Haddonville, Illinois from Halloween, and then there's I'm gonna skip these, and I'm gonna tell you later why I skipped those. There's the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. There's the North Pole from The Thing. There's the opening scene room from Saw. There's Victor Frankenstein's laboratory. And then there's the Creeper's Church. Now the reason I skipped all of these is because those are gonna come with the characters. Those are gonna come with their respected fighter packs. So, for instance, the Bates Motel is gonna come with Norman Bates and Fighter Pack 3. The Jaws boat is gonna come with Jaws in Fighter Pack 1, and then the Skull Island is gonna come with King Kong in Fighter Pack 2. So now let's get on to the leveling up system. Yeah, let's get right into it. So here are the rules for leveling up. Number 1, all players should start all characters at level 1, and by choice should try to level any character to the maximum level, which is 30. Number 2, leveling up gear will be in the process of going from the original movie to the sequels. Number 3, if the character has no sequels, then the gear will go from the original to the remake. Number 4, if neither of those requirements are met, then the gear will either be after any transformations that the character goes through, or will be custom made. And number 5, kill coins from the store will allow you to instantly level up your characters to level 20. Now, the three middle rules will be explained in the next 3 slides, if you don't get it. So number 1 will be explained right now. Leveling up gear will be in the process of going from the original movie to the sequels. This is just like a sequel to sequel, because it's the first Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2 to the last Jason sequel we saw, which was Jason X. Now, the example 2 is going to be original to remake, which is It from the 1990 miniseries from the 2017 horror flick. Now, then the next example is going to be The Thing, since it had no sequels or remakes. It's gonna be from the original to a customization, or from the original to any transformations that it went through. Now let's go on to modes. Now modes, there are a lot of modes I want to be in here, which is the versus mode 2-player, which is basically a 2-player local or 2-player online. There's a versus mode 1-player, which is basically if you have no friends, that's very sad. If you have no friends, then you can play against an NPC. And then there's also a versus mode 4-player, which I like to call versus mode party, which basically, like from Mortal Kombat 9, you can have 4 players, two versus 2, and then switch out whoever wants to fight the other person. And then there's Test Your Luck, which is basically from Mortal Kombat 10. Basically, it's the regular local or online match, but you can either choose or randomize some components that will help or that will be an advantage or disadvantage to either one or all players. Now there's the average training and practice mode, which is basically either the game teaching you moves or you discovering them on your own. And then there's a story mode, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Now let's get on to and I accidentally missed the multiverse, which is basically from Injustice 2. Injustice 2, and it's basically where every couple of hours random challenges come up, which if you finish them will give you XP, which will give you rewards in any kind of way. And yeah, let's get into an example of the multiverse. Wait, this will be how it will set up. These are just three examples of what planets would look like if you went into the multiverse. The top one is Fear. You can put that together with It, because at the end he says Fear as he goes into the sewers and disappears. You can to the left you can see Your Worst Nightmare, which is obviously A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. And then you can see Old Timers, which is basically all the Universal monsters. And those are just some of the challenges that I think would have good names, good planet designs, and you could, like, for instance, Your Worst Nightmare, Freddy Krueger could be the ending boss. And so let's get into an example of Test Your Luck. Some of the components that make up Test Your Luck are Walking Dead. You can summon a horde of zombies, and that is very good for you. And then there's Purging. Have a gang of purgers from The Purge, which is very good for you too. But then we're gonna get onto the bad ones for you. The first one is He's a Biter, and then Jaws will bite at random times in the match, which means that he'll like swoop in and bite and bite you or your opponent. And then there's Strength in Numbers. A Raptor Pack will run through the arena at random times, which will probably knock you down or your opponent down. And yeah, let's get into the story mode. The story mode is going to be pretty complicated because it's really hard to get everybody into one storyline without just like shoving them in messily. And so the storyline will be that Freddy is able to come out of the dream world and rain terror on the real world. So basically what that means is that, like, we've seen Freddy come out of the dream world before, but before in the movies he came out of the dream world into the real world with less power and just being a human being. But with this, he would be able to come out of the dream world and still have the powers that he had in the dream world. So Jason and the other slashers are not happy about their homes being destroyed by Freddy's army, so they revolt. This is basically like, for instance, Jason is very sensitive about his home being destroyed because his mother's remains are in it. so they revolt, and a lot of other people would be revolting too. But the revolution is only encouraged by some slashers because the others are promised by Freddy better lives and more power. So that would be going towards people that don't have as much power. So Ghostface and all that would be obsessed with power and psychotics and everything like that. But like stuff, people like Jason and It would already have their power. They just wouldn't. They just want to eat and kill and all that. So, just like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, there would be chapters that you have to play the respected characters. So chapter 1 would be Jason Voorhees. Chapter 2 would be Michael Myers. Chapter 3 would be Dracula. Chapter 4 would be Pinhead. Chapter 5 would be Pennywise. Chapter 6 would be The Thing. And then Chapter 7 would be Jason Voorhees. Just to finish off Freddy in that final act. Now, all of these people have to be on Jason's side, which I will call the Revolution. For now, the Revolution. All of these people are on the Revolution side. I think Pennywise would probably be forced to be in the Revolution because Freddy would be killing all of the kids. And yeah, so now let's get into the store. The store would be basically be like where you buy stuff with real money. So the kill coins, which I talked about earlier, are what instantly level up your character to level 20, but you can't level them up over that because then that would be basically being lazy and just yeah. But so $1 would get you 1,000 kill coins. $5 would get you 10,000 kill coins. $10 would get you 15,000 kill coins. $20 would get you 50,000 kill coins. And that's the highest you can go with those because it takes 10,000 kill coins to level up one character to level 20. So $1 wouldn't get you anywhere, but $5 would get you one character to level up to. $10 would only add half of that, half of 10,000, but then $20 would get you 5 characters to level up to. And so here's how much one character would be from the DLC pack. And it would be $20 if you didn't get the legendary edition when it first came out. If you got the legendary edition, then all of the DLC characters will automatically come to you, and you would just download them because you already paid for it when the game first came out. And yeah, that's basically like Jaws would cost $19.99, which would be the price for everybody else in Fighter Pack 1, 2, and 3. I don't think that any of the Mortal Kombat characters would be as downloaded as the creature features in Norman Bates because you can just go to Mortal Kombat and play as them. But that's why you'd need more of a newer design for Melina, Ermac, and Baraka. And yeah, let's get on to the next one, which is the conclusion. So guys, this is the end of it. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I hope you guys liked my ideas, and if you didn't, comment Comment what you change if you do it in the first place. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.